will start from our first Indian scientific expedition to Arctic region. This happened in August 2007 to explore the probable teleconnections between the northern polar region and the Indian monsoon intensity. This was the starting point. This is very critical for our agricultural output and economy. So this was the first project that was initiated. Global scientific collaborative research, atmospheric studies, Arctic microbe and earth sciences are the other areas which were thought about. And here is the minister who went to the first Arctic expedition. So what are the basic research studies that were carried out? First one was the measurement of atmospheric aerosol and ions in the Arctic region at the International Arctic Research Base Ny-Ålesund, Svalbard, Norway. The measurements of the atmospheric and electrical field conductivity were conducted using vertical electrical field mill and Guardian's apparatus respectively. So here are the pictures of some of the instruments. The measurements of aerosol concentration and the size distribution of particles in the range of 0.5 to 20 micrometers in size were carried out continuously with the aerodynamic particle sizer. So this was the initial research activities carried out by Indian scientists. And then Arctic microbes as workhorse of biotechnology was the next one. So here inverterization of microbes from various habitats of Arctic using both the polyphasic approach and the rDNA approach was carried out. Evaluation of microbial population dynamics as biological indices of change in season, anthropogenic factor, etc. were carried out. DARG, tRNA, FLP and rDNA approaches were used. Bioprocessing of cold active enzymes, polysaturated fatty acids and antioxidants, mainly carotenoids, were carried out. So these are the instruments that was used for the collection of samples. Then the paleoclimatic reconstruction using various proxies in Svalbard region, periglacial geomorphology and recessional pattern of the Midre-Loven glacier at Ny-Ålesund was carried out. So the glaciers are basically considered to be the best indicators of the climate change. So the glacial parameters were taken as a point of view to study the sedimentology, geomorphology and the stakes fixed to monitor its recessional pattern. This relationship will be established if it is established between the characteristics of glacier retreat and landform will throw some light on what was the climate change that is currently happening. Similarly, data were collected for the reconstruction of paleoclimate from various proxies such as soil, glacial melt stream, lakes and permafrost. So here the ice collection is being carried out. The next is the research studies carried out with respect to polar biology. So here to study the nitrification and denitrification rates in water samples at Kongsfjord Fjord. So sampling was actually done at 0, 10, 20 and 40 meters because various depth of water will have different types of microbes. So to study and understand that various sampling was done at various depth. The water samples were analyzed for nitrite, nitrate and ammonium ions. Ammonium oxidation and nitrate reduction had been measured calorimetrically. These processes are also being studied by stable isotope tracing. So these are all the various activities that were carried out. And similarly, to archive Arctic lichens and mosses in Polar Herbarium Museum at NCAOR, Goa, and to compare the bipolar species. So here are the list of lichens and the list of mosses which were identified. Around 100 samples of lichens and mosses were collected. The samples were examined for identification up to specific species level by morphological feature, anatomy and chemical test. So this instrument was used to collect the samples.